going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Welcome to another edition of Dangle Bet Selly, powered by FTN, right here on Game Plus Network, presented by PointsBet Canada. Chris Meaney and Eric Young here with you, breaking down last night's overtime victory by the Colorado Avalanche, a big 3-2 W. Nazem Kadri, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely a storybook finish for Nazem Kadri and the Avalanche, and they are now up 3-1. Eric, what's up, man? What'd you think of last night?
I mean, really good game.
Really good game, yes.
Yeah, really fun. I mean, had a little bit of everything. When it went to overtime, I was texting with a buddy of mine from Toronto, and I was just saying, Kadri's scoring this, right? Like, there's no other way. Like, that has to be the way. I thought he was. I mean, obviously he wasn't Kadri. I mean, the fact that he's even playing is pretty insane to me. I saw you put up earlier in the day, I think it was the FanDuel thing about face-offs won, and I missed it. By the time I went over, they had taken it down. I would have emptied my bank account, my entire real bank account, and put it on that. And
I did.
Then I would have not shown up this morning and retired because I would have been a millionaire. But
yeah, it was Prize Picks, and I should have told you and like my closest friends first. So what happened was, I actually have to give credit to I don't know his real name, like Titans 20. If you're watching the show, credit to you, sir. He's an FTN sub. He's always in like looking Prize Picks. So we have a free Prize Picks Discord channel in our at our website. When you go to FTN Bets, FTN Fantasy, FTN Daily, up at the top, you click the chat link and it gets you to the Prize Picks free Discord channel. We're just jumping in there all the time. Like, here's some plays, and we have the free pick tracker over at ftndaily.com. And somebody had just said Nazem Kadri, like Titan said, Nazem Kadri's at 7.5 faceoffs. Do you think that he's going to get that with the broken thumb? I'm like, immediately bet the under on that right now. Yeah. This guy's not going to take any faceoffs. Told everybody in the chat, just trying to ping everybody, all the hockey subs that we have. Do it now before I tweet this out and before people just hammer it and Prize Picks takes it away. And that's exactly what happened within like the 20 minutes or so. But yeah, he didn't even take one faceoff last night. It was set at 7.5. Free money.
So we would have won.
Yeah, we would have won.
We would have done very well there. And if you did bet on it, congratulations for being a complete lunatic. It's awesome.
And I know a couple people were sweating it out too. Like a lot of people that aren't really hockey fans, and they checked in after the first period. Is Kadri taking any faceoffs? It's like, no, I think you're good there. But overall, just using some of Natural Statrix stats, courtesy of them, like we always do here on this show. Just take a look at what Kadri did last night at full strength. Of course, he had the big goal. Played 18:32. And he had, look at it, right? Beautiful. Even Kadri didn't know that he scored that goal. Like, I don't think anybody really knew.
Put his arms down. He was heading towards the bench.
Yeah, weird. Chris Cuthbert called it right away that it was a goal, and he's like, where is it? It's a save. It's a goal. He had 5 shot attempts. He had 2 scoring chances, 1 high danger chance. You saw the picture right there was the 1 high danger chance and 1 scoring chance and 1 of his 2 shots. But, 5 attempts. He had a chance. I think his first shift early in the game, puck went off the backboards and came to him, and he put it towards the goal. I think Vasilevsky made a save, but his conditioning was certainly on point. I don't think that's surprising. He'd been skating for a couple weeks, but man, he made some nice plays last night. And not only last night and here in the Stanley Cup Finals, a cool story and a great moment. I saw people tweeting last night as well, Eric. Can't wait till Kadri scores. He's going to score. There's been so many moments like that. Not just here in the playoffs against the Blues with the hat trick and, the fan hate, like the crap that he got on social media and his family, and the career regular season that he had. And as you always say, just so happens to be a contract year for Kadri. Dude is going to get paid in the offseason, man.
What a miraculous thing when hundreds of millions of dollars are on the line. Show up. Good for him. It makes me wonder if, he didn't get the thumb injury, if he played all the games. I feel he's right there for Conn Smythe. I mean, he's had a really good playoff. A lot of people that I thought would be, in the running for Conn Smythe, Stamkos, he's been almost invisible. The reality is when Colorado's going, when they're really going, they're really skating, there's not a whole lot Tampa could do. And I think last game, there was huge stretches there was a point where Tampa was really countering in the second and were really pressuring them. Manson was on the ice for like over 3 minutes straight, and I was just thinking, like, he wants to die, like he.
Oh, I know. I saw that shift.
Crazy,
Oh
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think Colorado controlled the majority of the game. Kemper didn't look great. That backhand goal from Hedman. I get that Hedman's one of the best players in the NHL, but that goal cannot go in. That is inexcusable for any goalie that plays in the NHL. It's not screened. It's not deflected. It's not even a hard shot off the backhand, and just tricked them, and that just can't go in. But overall, super entertaining game. Obviously Tampa and John Cooper saying, the goal shouldn't have counted. And I don't know. I didn't see anything that was that egregious. I get what he's trying to say, but woe is me. So,
well, it's kind of just it's hard to feel bad for. I mean, you want the correct call. I'll say that.
Sure,
it's hard to feel bad for Cooper and the Lightning. I do believe last year against the Islanders, they had like 7 guys on the ice and on their game-winning goal, and that should have kind of came back, and it didn't. So, if you believe in karma, it's kind of right there. What you get kind of comes back the other way.
And you're $90 million over the salary cap, and you signed Corey Perry in the offseason.
Corey Perry is
he's going to play for the Stanley Cup and lose again, right?
Where's he going next year? And wherever he goes next year, let's bet on that team to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. Yeah, Toronto. Yeah, you know what? He still has it. Like, he's still an effective.
He's still
player.
A good player.
Yeah, last night we had him we put like a 0.25 on an assist at like 3-1 or a point, but we had his shot prop at 1.5. Last night was pretty good in terms of shot props. Like McCarr hit easily, McKinnon hit easily, Hedman hit easily. The Kucherov, there always seems to be one that lets us down in a parlay, and it was Nichushkin the other night, and he had 2 shots in the first 10 minutes. So he's like, oh, everybody that was on Kucherov in game 3. He showed up in game 4 for you. But last night it was Kucherov. He only had a couple shots. Man, he rang one off the crossbar, which doesn't count as a shot. I thought Kemper had a piece of that and they could have changed it, but it was clean. And he rang that right off the bar, off the faceoff. But yeah, to the Cooper thing, I heard it last night. I didn't know what he was saying at first because he just kind of said, like, the goal shouldn't have counted, and that's all I'm going to talk about. Originally, when I was watching it live, I thought that it was close maybe to a high stick. Like, the puck came out of Tampa's zone, and I forget who the defenseman was. He just kind of like went to get it with his stick, and I think he missed it. Anyways, the puck continued on down the ice. Kemper touches it, goes to Lehkonen. Lehkonen gets the nice pass over to Kadri, and Kadri puts it back in. But looking at it again here this morning, like I said, there was just a guy it was McKinnon. He was just over at the boards. He hadn't jumped off the ice yet. He's not in the play at all. And that was Kadri's guy, so I suppose that's what he's complaining about. But, man, you don't see that stuff get called all the time. It
happens 10,000 times a game.
Even the Lightning had 6 or 7 guys on the ice in that period. They had 2 guys.
10,000 times a game that happens, where there's a guy standing at the boards and the other guy's already on the ice. Yeah. It happens 1,000.
You don't see it.
10,000 times a game.
You did see it get called. Actually, I think it was offside a couple years ago. Remember when Colorado, it was early on in I think it was 3 years ago. They were still Cup favorites. They played the Sharks. I think it was the Western Conference Finals, and then they went on to the finals against the Penguins. And Landeskog was hanging over by the boards, and he was on the wrong side, and they called offside. Like, they reviewed it, but it was such a little chintzy call that you don't normally see that stuff either. The one thing that bothered me last night, I want to get your thoughts on it. Like, you could have got away with murder in the third period last night.
They
didn't call anything. Why do they feel like they have to put the whistles away when there's 16 minutes left in the third period, when there's 10 minutes left in the third period? If it's a trip in the first, it's a trip in the second, it's a trip in the third. It really does bother me, man. Hedman came up the sideboards. He got tripped. No call. Kadri was all alone in front of the net. No call. There was a rebound where Nick Paul was wide open. Probably would have put it in. A hook on the arms, no call. There were 2 checks from behind. If you want to go, fine. If you want to let those go, old school hockey, giddy up. I'm all right with that. But these trips in the third period, I mean, I get the refs don't want to overtake the game, Eric, but it's brutal, man. And that's the one thing with the NHL. I mean, people are putting their hard-earned bucks on this stuff, and I just like to see it get called fairly. And in my opinion, if it's a trip and it's penalty in the first and second, it should be in the third. You want to put them away in overtime? Fine. But come on, man. Like, did you see those plays? Hedman was clearly tripped, and Kadri was tripped as well.
Yeah, you do see a few of them, and sometimes this happens, and and I think it's been a rule for a long time that in the playoffs, especially, the refs kind of put the whistles away and they don't call everything. I don't think it's like the NFL where there could be a penalty on every play in the NFL. I mean, you could call holding, you could call pass interference, certainly holding in one of the linemen, vice versa, you could call on every play. If they call everything, maybe that game is still going and we're still watching the Colorado Tampa game. But
I don't know because Tampa's penalty kill is non-existent. If they call a couple, it would have been over pretty early.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I don't know, man. This has just been going on forever. I agree with you, and I think most level-headed people would agree with us. Is if you'd call a trip. If it's a trip in the first and a trip in the second, then it's a trip in the third, and just because it's the third period, it shouldn't matter. The rules are there for a reason, especially things like, judgment of cross-checking. I mean, like you see that in every offensive zone play, there's someone standing in front of the net getting absolutely abused by the guy standing there. If you're calling letter of the law, that's cross-checking. On every time the puck is in the offensive zone. You could call that, you really could. And people would be mad. But tripping, I feel, like now this year for sure, it's anytime you're in on the hands, like it doesn't matter if it's egregious. If your stick touches their hands, they're calling it as a penalty. And, I guess we could call that the Johnny Gaudreau penalty or the Crosby penalty, whatever you want to call it. But they're trying to protect people that carry the puck and handle the puck. And, whether I agree with that or not, it doesn't matter. They've been pretty consistent at calling that. But this is a thing that's gone on in the playoffs forever where the refs don't want to be the deciding factor in the game. And by deciding that, they become the deciding factor in the game.
Yes.
So it's a catch-22. You're never going to be happy. It's the same as, we're just coming off all the NHL awards and people are so mad.
What are people?
It doesn't matter.
I haven't really heard.
The players make no extra money. The franchises make no extra money. It's the whole thing's bogus. There's some guy, some hockey writer, I think from Chicago, who didn't even have Roman Josi on his Norris ballot. That's like that guy should have his privileges taken away forever. That's insane. Yeah. I'm not saying he should have won. Cal McCarr winning, that's fine. You could argue for Josi. You could argue for Hedman. Totally. You could argue for Taves probably. You could argue for McAvoy. But not having Roman Josi, one of the 5 players on your Norris Trophy ballot this season, that guy shouldn't be allowed to go to hockey ever again, period, the end. I agree. Stop getting mad at the awards. They mean nothing. They're stupid. And they mean nothing. Stop getting mad about it.
Not only did that Josi thing happen in Josi, what a close vote for Norris. I think he was separated by like 30 some odd votes. And
25.
25. Josi had more first place votes than Cale Makar. Yeah, it was super tight. I thought that Josi should have gotten it, but like you said, you can make a case for certainly both guys, and Charlie McAvoy, who had a really good season that nobody even really talked about, and then of course Victor Hedman last night. It was just so fun to watch Hedman and Cale Makar. And we'll get into some of the statistics in just a little bit, but it was amazing to watch both of those guys, like the minutes that they log. And I thought that was clearly Hedman's best game of the finals. And he was absolutely all over the place. I agree. Kemper probably should have had that goal. Backhands are tricky. You ask any goalie, backhands are really tough to kind of get a gauge. You just don't know. Like
when's the puck coming off the stick?
All the time. The elevation, when's it coming off? But it was a bit of a softie. I think it clearly caught Kemper off guard. To those awards, also what I saw is that you could vote. So you vote 7 players for Hart, and 2 people did not think that Connor McDavid was inside the top 7. They just didn't vote for him.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that is inexcusable.
What?
The awards don't matter. They don't matter. It's stupid. Stop caring about it. It doesn't matter. People
It's
mess it up and muck it up. There's no system. There's no. It's stupid. Stop being mad about it.
You got to be as Leafs Nation has to take something away from Austin Matthews, though, right? It's pretty cool. Hart.
Look,
and
it's
voted
fun
on by the players, Ted Lindsay.
But it changes nothing. It changes nothing for Matthews. I mean, I guess he gets to have that on the back of his hockey card. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. It's cool.
Leafs winning something in June.
Right. Yeah. If you want to do Keenan Thompson's line, they finally won. The Leafs finally won something in June, which was unreal and well deserved by the Maple Leafs. But the reality is, the whole system's flawed. You hear when Brian Burke was on Sportsnet, you heard him talk about the GMs vote for the Vezina. What the hell do the GMs know about goaltending? Zero.
The players should vote for the Vezina. The players should vote for the Vezina, I think.
Yes.
I think the players should vote for all of it.
The players should vote for all of it. We don't know. The writers don't know. The GMs certainly don't know about goaltending. It's stupid. We talked about this a couple of days ago. John Cooper not winning Coach of the Year is insane. He's playing in the Stanley Cup for the third year in a row. There is no better coach.
And I don't want to take any shots at anybody either, too. And I saw Timothy Liljegren, I saw him. He had 23 points in 61 games, and I saw he got more votes than Lucas Raymond in the Calder conversation, who had I think more goals than those points. Unbelievable, right? So yeah, the awards is what it is. You're right. It's bogus. Silly. It's just It's good for the players that won. Congrats. I did take a look yesterday on Mean Streets, just to wrap up the whole awards thing. So the first team All-Stars, of course, Matthews was the center, and you can't have McDavid there. So I was looking. I was like, when's the last time a player has won the Art Ross Trophy, the most points in a regular season, and not be named to the first team All-Star? It's happened twice since 2000. Jamie Benn in 2015, I believe, won the Art Ross with 87 points, right? 87 points. He won the Art Ross, and he wasn't named to the first All-Star team. It was Patrick Kane who got it over him. I believe he had a solid campaign in terms of goals. And then Martin St. Louis in 2013, same deal, won the Art Ross and was not named to the first team. Crazy enough, the following year, St. Louis was named to the first team, didn't have the Art Ross Trophy, and then same thing with Jamie Benn. The following year was named to the first team, yet he didn't finish first in the league in points. It's all a little weird. Okay, so last night, Meaney's dude Ben, he's always my bust. I like Jamie Benn as a player, but I just felt like in fantasy over the past couple of years, he just goes way too early in drafts, and he's only valuable if you're playing in those leagues with faceoffs and hits and penalty minutes and things like that. But now everybody knows
he's really valuable in those leagues, right? But
really valuable in those.
You have to.
The Stars scored 2 goals a game. How many times have you talked about that top line? 50% of their offense, that top line. Ben and Sagan actually kind of turned it up a little bit towards the end of the season. Dallas got into the playoffs, and I thought they were okay, but making a lot of dough, those two guys, for what they provide really on a nightly basis. George says he has a Stamkos board. What do you got here? Where are you, Steven Stamkos? I don't know if he's been super. The thing with Stamkos is, he scored that big goal the other day, last game. What did he do last night in terms of shot attempts? Wow. Where is the old boy Stammer? 22 minutes of ice last night, 1 shot, 2 shot attempts.
Shot.
It's the thing with Stamkos, and I was thinking about this last night, and it's a reason I never really get involved with his shot prop, and he loves to shoot, and he's a really good shooter, is that Tampa Bay needs a couple power plays to get those shot attempts. He's not a guy at this point of his career that could just generate offense himself. He's just not quick enough. And Colorado is so fast. Colorado has so many guys that just generate offense with their legs. They can just go up and down the ice. Tampa's got a couple of those guys, Cirelli's got speed. Kucherov clearly has speed. And Hedman, those are the guys. But Stamkos can't go toe-to-toe. He gets the puck in the neutral zone. It's kind of like he's skating through mud. He's just a little slower. A terrific year. Fantastic season. Absolutely amazing career.
Great playoffs,
Hall of Famer. Yeah. Cups. cups on the resume, right? Like this guy's
Gold medals.
Gold medals. Yeah.
Wait, did he go? No, he didn't go, did he?
Well, I think he hurt his leg. He had so many injuries.
That's right.
I think he was ready to go, and then he didn't go. But
That's right.
I'm sure he's got some sort of Canadian, whether it's
Junior maybe.
junior or just like the World Championships. But Tampa's been in the playoffs for so many years, so he doesn't really play in those. But yeah, he's still a Hall of Famer. He's not even done yet. He's going to score a bunch more goals. But yeah, I mean, he was invisible yesterday. How many shot attempts do you think Cale Makar had last night? Not to put you on the spot, but you watch the game.
He was busy. I have not looked at the stats. I'm going to say he had 6.
Attempts.
Oh,
yeah,
attempts.
5 shots. Yeah,
probably
attempts. Pucks
12, 14.
Yeah, he had 16 last night.
Holy jeez. 12. 14.
Animal.
I thought was insane, but 16.
McKinnon had 14. Cale Makar had 16 shot attempts last night. 16 shot attempts, man. One thing I do want to give some credit to are the Lightning for the blocks. They had 34 blocked shots last night. Yep. They blocked everything. Last night was the first night I was on Colorado, so I'm just 2 for 2 in this series. I've been Colorado the first 2 games. Like Colorado again. I'm going all in on game 3. I just felt like, on the show with you, I was kind of leaning Tampa. But then the Braden Point thing, and Nick Paul played last night, but clearly not 100%. And then the rumors that Kadri was going to come back. I'm like, man, I just think Colorado, just the team that they just seem so much better 5-5. And even watching last night, Tampa Bay started off so strong. Colorado had 1 shot, I think, in the first 15 minutes. But I still didn't feel like at any point, Eric, that Colorado was like in a bad spot. They just owned the puck and they continued to dominate throughout. So here's some of the numbers in case you missed it. Last night, the 3-2. These are 5-5 numbers. The shot attempts last night were in favor in the first period, 15-7 overall. 21-19 overall for Tampa. So even though they only had the 4 shots and the shots at 5-5 were 15-2, I felt like Colorado had a really strong first period. Kemper got tested early. Oh, let's talk about that for a second. Goal, no issues with that first goal. Kemper's helmet comes off and Cirelli puts it in right away. That's fine, do you think? In your opinion? Like that first goal? Do you think that should have... Do you blow the whistle when a goalie's helmet pops off right away? Or, I mean,
my original...
the rule is that if there's a scoring chance immediately...
It's okay.
You let it go.
And I didn't know that. I was like, I was yelling. Like, I was like, that can't be a goal. Like, the goalie doesn't have a mask on. It's just, it's the whistle. And what I thought, the whistle is supposed to blow instantly as soon as the it's because it's a liability thing, right? Like, and we've seen goalies do this, try to stop the puck with their head because they're psychopaths. Like, if he gets hit in the face with the puck, like, there's a problem, right? The NHL is going to be under massive scrutiny, but it is written like that in the handbook. They put up the images on the broadcast last night saying if there's a scoring chance immediately, then the whistle does not blow. So, and there was, it isn't more, the puck hit him and the mask fell off and it fell. And then Cirelli was right there to shoot it in. So that's a good goal.
Yeah, Chernak shot the puck immediately, and then Cirelli just picked up the rebound. Yeah. I was surprised, and a couple of people I tweeted that too. I guess they said it on the TNT broadcast or ABC or wherever that one was, wherever the game was getting broadcast last night in the States and ABC. Yeah, and so some people had tweeted that they mentioned on the broadcast, but I've seen it both ways. Like I've seen it get blown down right away.
Yep.
Right away, no matter what. And I mean, the ref had a really good look at it. He was right there. He saw it and he pointed a goal and he was saying, listen, that's a goal. That's a goal. It was kind of a bang, bang play. But I've also seen it where the mask is off for like a while. I saw something this year that I've never seen it before. It was a puck off Jake Allen's head. His mask came off, like it popped up. And you could see like the straps and it just popped up. So he took it off. The play continued for like 10, 15 seconds. The team was cycling in Montreal's zone. Allen's going like this. Like, I got no mask. Like, come on here. What's going on? The ref blows the whistle after like another 5 seconds goes by. And he gives Jake Allen a penalty. He gave him a penalty, an unsportsmanlike penalty. He says he took his mask off.
Oh, wow.
He just took it off. I'd never seen it before, ever. It was like a 4-0 game. Montreal was, of course, getting waxed. Like, and Jake Allen took his helmet off. I had just never seen anything like it before. I was like, what is happening? So I've seen it. Sometimes I felt last night it was just like a judgment call from the ref. Like, if it's a bang play, he lets it go. But if that's the rule, again, they just need to be a little bit more consistent, I think, in the NHL when it comes to that.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it is written that way. I mean, how the ref would know. I mean, I have never, ever seen it not blown right away. Anytime I've watched the game live, it's almost the minute that goalie's helmet comes off, the whistle goes. Doesn't matter.
I think that rule should change. I think if the goalie's helmet comes off the ice, if it gets on his
the puck
head,
should be unplayable.
The whistle should be blown down, but it's tough. It was a tough call. Okay, so kind of back to some of the numbers at 5-5 here. So 21-19 the shot attempts in the first, and then Colorado just kind of really took over. 18-11 in the second, pretty even third. Again, no penalties. It was kind of tight check, and there were a couple chances there, but it just felt like overtime when there was 10 minutes left in the third period. And then I thought Colorado just dominated the overtime. It just felt like it was only a matter of time. They hit a couple posts. There was a shot from the point with Taves. It was deflected off the post. And then, Nichushkin is so impressive, man. Every time he touches the puck, he makes something happen. In overtime, he had a couple chances.
Another contract here. What a surprise.
What a surprise, man. He is. Drew came on the show the other day, and credit to Drew. He said Kemper would bounce back. He said Kadri would play, and he did play. He messaged me last night in caps, just full on excited as hell, right? Just, I told you Kadri would play. Like, anyways, he was just going nuts last night. One more game there, Drew. One more game, buddy. Nichushkin made a beautiful pass across from Bowen Byram, and he put off the crossbar. So it just felt like only a matter of time there. Overall here, the shots 34-29 at 5-5. The scoring chances in favor of the Avs 35-31, high danger 10-11 in favor of the Lightning. So it was a pretty even game. I thought Tampa came out decently strong in the first few minutes on home ice. They scored that quick goal, but like I said, I thought Colorado really just controlled the play from then on out. All the shot blocks. And I have to apologize because on Mean Streets, I gave a few props. A couple worked out. We had McKinnon to score. McKinnon 5 shots. We had Rantanen again, another assist. He's got 8 assists. We had Victor Hedman for a point and Hedman for 3 shots. I think he had like 5 or 6, maybe 7. But I led Eric with a block shot prop. Like, what is wrong with me? Why am I leading with a block
You're a crazy
shot
person.
prop as the play? Eric Chernak over 2.5 blocks was plus money. He had 2 blocks. He only played 7 minutes. He left last night with an injury. He stayed on the bench for the entire game until overtime. He had 2 blocks in his first couple shifts and then never played again. But Tampa blocked 34 shots. Palat had 5. Stamkos had 4. Sergachev blocked 7. McDonough blocked 3. I also mentioned Sergachev and McDonough, but we didn't have a fancy graphic for those two guys, George. We just had one for Eric Chernak, and he put Kucherov on the other board. So those two guys were cursed last night from George. But these shot attempts from Colorado last night, 16 for Makar, 4 scoring chances, 2 high danger chances, 5 shots. He played 34-43. McKinnon had 14 shot attempts, 7 of them scoring chances, 3 high danger. He had 8 shots on goal. He finally scored. It was a little lucky. Let's not lie, but sometimes you need the breaks to get going. Devon Taves had 9 shot attempts, and then Gabriel Landeskog had 7 shot attempts, and all of them scoring chances, 4 high danger right in the slot. He was all over the ice again last night. And then on the Tampa Bay side of things, Victor Hedman played 30 minutes. 9 shot attempts, 7 shots, 4 scoring chances. He scored the goal. Cirelli checked in second with 7 shot attempts. He had 5 shots. Alex Killorn, I thought that was his best game of the finals. I haven't really noticed him too much in the playoffs. What do you think's going on with him? I don't think he has a point, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is he's playing down. You know, we're used to him playing farther up and him playing in that third line, penalty kill. Obviously, like a super useful player. There's been plenty of times where I've seen him showing up and he's touching the puck a bunch and he's in the right place. But in the end, as we talked about this when we first started talking about this series, is it just comes down to Colorado's team speed, right? Like Killorn doesn't have the foot speed to keep pace with these guys. He just doesn't. It's in a way, it's kind of like the reminiscent of the Oilers and Islanders back in the day. The Islanders are this older, experienced team, and they block shots and they're tough. And they end up beating Edmonton, and Wayne Gretzky walks by their locker room and they've got ice packs everywhere and it's silent. And they're not even celebrating because they're so beat up. And then the next year, Edmonton takes it away because of the scale of the speed. And it's kind of what's going on here. It's obviously a different game nowadays, but Tampa's doing everything they can, and they're doing all the hockey things by blocking shots. And like last night, you saw a lot of the times they're having troubles getting out of their zone. So they're doing that sky flip. They're flipping the puck out and trying to chase it down. And, that's Cooper. That's not something that they've done. That's not something they've done in the playoffs or during the regular season. And all of a sudden now they're trying it because what they were doing isn't working because of the speed. Like when you have, look at Darren Helm is obviously, a very, a bottom six player. But the truth is Darren Helm, the one thing he's always had is he's been able to skate. And Cogliano was the same way. I mean, he doesn't score a ton of goals, but just when you see him on the ice, the pace that he keeps and the fact that there's just no space for you to do anything with the puck, even when the fourth line for Colorado is out there. So makes it really hard to play as a person that plays hockey poorly. I'm always yelling at the guys on my team to chase the other team because everyone sucks at hockey in rec league. And I know how I feel when someone's chasing me. I get super nervous and I can only see like 2 feet around the puck and I can't see any other part of the ice because I'm panicked, and then I cough it up. And like that's obviously Tampa Bay is not coughing it up, and it's not in comparison. But the pressure, right? It's so frustrating and so hard to play against a team like that where they're on you and there's just no space. You don't have any time to think or even look up. And we've seen it in every single game, and it will continue.
Yeah, it will continue. Killorn played 25 minutes and 45 seconds last night. It was the most he's played in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it led all Tampa Bay forwards last night at all strengths. And again, 6 shot attempts, 3 shots. He's gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 games without a point. He only has 4 assists in the playoffs, and they came in the first 6 games in the opening round against the Maple Leafs. He's done absolutely nothing since. They just need him. Like that's just it. It's plain and simple. I mean, yeah, we look at Stamkos. Where is he? He's in the back of the milk carton. Where is he? Stamkos, Kucherov, and Palat. But where's everybody else? Like Cirelli scored again. Like these other guys just need to show up. And I mean, you're saying it perfectly. It's the speed that the Avs have, and puck management has
neutralizes everything. Right? It just doesn't matter. It's nowadays in today's hockey, because of how it's called and the speed at which it's played, like speed and skating ability is everything. And there's not a team in the NHL better at it than the Colorado Avalanche. They have the most team speed and the best skating out of any team. And we're seeing it's evident.
I do want to give a lot of love to Mikhail Sergachev last night. He played 32-49, led all Lightning players. I mentioned that he blocked a bunch of shots. So, like a sucker for tomorrow night, as we transition to get into tomorrow night, I will be on that. I think that there's value to be had with these shot blocks because of the amount of shot attempts that Colorado has every single night. Bedard said it, that Tampa's the best shot blocking team he's ever seen, and I agree with him. Like, they get in the lane and they block everything. I really noticed against the Florida Panthers. Like, Florida put a ton of pucks towards the goal, and everybody on Tampa was just blocking. And then you have Vasilevsky, the human wall behind it. So it's tough to score on this Tampa team, and Colorado has made it kind of look easy, but at the same time, they have just had so many shot attempts that have been blocked or, just missing the net because of, guys in front. So I watched Sergachev last night and I was thinking to myself, man, I wish Marc Bergevin didn't trade Jonathan Drouin, trade Sergachev for Jonathan Drouin. That guy is, I think, let's see, how old is Mikhail Sergachev? How old do you think? I think he's 30
28?
or 23. No, he's not 20. Man, I'm all over the place here. I feel like he's like
My guess is 26, 28, but
yeah,
that's
I think
just
he's
a
like
guess.
20. I think he's like 23, I think he is. He's 23 years old. Boom. He's played 90 Stanley Cup playoff games, roughly.
It's crazy.
He has, wow, he's played 90. He's played 90 playoff games, and he's 23 years old. Think of the experience he's gotten already.
Yep.
He is such a terrific skater. He's got offensive ability. Nobody really talks about Kucherov, and he does, or Sergachev. He's not Kale McCarr. I get it, guys. So when I say this, it's okay. But he does Kale McCarr things on the blue line. Like he does, like he skates the blue line, he dances the blue line. It's like a stutter step, a fake shot, and he goes the other way and he gets pucks through. You saw it towards the end of the Rangers series as well. But I wanted to give him a shout out as well. B-Man D in the house, Morning Boys off topic. Shout out to EY for that awesome match at Slammiversary. Oh,
Appreciate
baby.
you, man, D. Thank you, man.
Yeah, we love that. So I don't know if Chernak can play tomorrow night. I would imagine that Sergachev is going to be up near the top again in ice time. I think him and McDonough are in play again for shot blocks. If you want to go there, I know you may have been burned by that play, and I do apologize from Chernak. I think it's unlucky. I think it's a bad beat, guys. We had 7 blocks in the first period, or 2 blocks in the first period. I'm pretty sure we would have gotten another block the rest of the way. But
Yeah, he got hurt. Like, you can't predict that.
He got hurt. You can't. Yeah, it's just, yeah. That's what it is. Sometimes these things happen. They happen more so in football than in the NHL, but sometimes they do happen. So you saw the odds there. Game 5 happening tomorrow night, where we have seen, for the most part, Colorado dominate the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first 2 games of the series. For an example, Game 1, shot attempt 63-49. The shots at 5-5, 32-18. In Game 2, the shot attempts 41-17. The shots were 20-6, and they outscored them 4-0 at 5-5. And of course, they dominated that game 7-0. Overall, Colorado does, at 5-5 here. I was looking at 5-4. We don't really have too much time to get into this. I want to kind of just get into tomorrow and maybe call some things, but I guess like a minute or two. What the heck's going on with Tampa's penalty kill? It was so good in the regular season. It was decent against the Leafs. It was awful against the Rangers. And then they figured out, like, let's not take any penalties because we can't kill them. And here at 5-4, I mean, Colorado's got 5 power play goals. They've completely dominated when they're on the power play, and Tampa has no answer for it, man.
Now, for me, is it the Tampa penalty kill that's not doing well, or is it just
Colorado so good?
The Colorado power play is superhuman. I said this to Sarah, my wife, last night. We were watching the game, and she's like, "Man, she unfortunately knows a lot about hockey by default. Like, it's forced upon her." And she likes sports, but I mean, she definitely watches more hockey than she probably cares to. And they were just unstoppable on the power play last night. And she had said something about it. And I said, like, I always try to compare things to the Predators because that's the team she knows the best. And I said, any one of the players on the Colorado power play is instantly the best player on the Nashville Predators, is the number 1 player, and is not even close. Any one of the 5.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're insane. Like, McKinnon is a top 5 player in the NHL. Rantanen, I think when he's healthy, is arguable. He's a top 10. Landeskog is one of, right now, in my opinion, the best captains and best all-around players in the league. Makar is, if you look at the Norris Trophy voting, is the best defenseman in the league, which I do not. I think he's
a top 5 player in the league.
He's a top 5 player in the league. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, there's no question. Yeah,
that's who you're facing. You're facing 5 of the top 15 players in the NHL playing on one line. Like, what do you do?
You stop taking
the answer is you give up power play goals.
You give up power play goals, yeah. You stop taking penalties. You try to do whatever you can not to take them because, it seems like anytime Tampa has any momentum going, it's a penalty and Colorado seems to score. And it happened last night. They got back.
And that's, again, that's speed, right? Like, the speed they play with, you're going to take penalties because you're a step behind. You're reaching with your stick. You're reaching out with your arms. You're trying to hold them. You're trying to slow them up in any way you can, and then you take penalties. It's a recipe for disaster. Everything in the NHL now is about speed. The last slow team to do anything was the Los Angeles Kings several years ago, and since then, it really is about team speed. And Colorado, if you really think about it, the last maybe 10 years, has there been a faster overall team in the NHL? I don't think so. I don't think it's even close, to be honest.
That line is moving quite a bit. George, you want to bring up that graphic again? You probably made it last night. Of course, this show is going to air, you're watching live. Hang out with us. Smash the like button, B-Man D, for our guy EY. But you're watching on Game Plus a little bit later on here, 5 Eastern, and Game 5 tomorrow night. So this line has changed big time. From minus 160, it's now minus 180 over at PointsBet. Like, people are just hammering Colorado. They feel like it is absolutely over. The total's still at 6. You can get that at plus 100 over at PointsBet. I was on the wrong side of that one. I still feel like it was the right play. There was just so many shot attempts. A couple bars were hit last night. The over 6 has hit in 3 of the 4 games. And, I know that the pick was wrong, but ultimately I still feel like it was the right play, and I'll probably be on the over for Game 5. But Adam Rentkamp, what's up, man? Early start. Just saw you were live. What's going on? Yeah, we did have to go slightly earlier here today, but we do appreciate you hanging out. We only have like a few more minutes, but Adam, we were kind of rolling through some of the statistics and things last night. But I'll ask you, Eric, do you feel like this game is, or this series is over? It's 2 questions. It's really tough to win 3 straight. Clearly, if anyone's gonna do it, maybe Tampa. But is it over tomorrow? Is it over in general, and is it over tomorrow?
I mean, I said, I wanted Colorado to win, but my mind was telling me that Tampa was going to win. I think I'm wrong. I think that the reality is I should have stuck with my guns. Colorado was my pick to win the Stanley Cup at the start of the year. I said that Colorado would play Tampa in the finals, so I was right there. And then I relented just because of Tampa's performance over the course of the playoffs. They absolutely manhandled the President's Trophy winners in the Florida Panthers. And they beat Toronto, who I thought could go deep. Jokes aside, a first-round exit again. The Maple Leafs are an unbelievable hockey team, and Tampa handled them perfectly. And the reality is it's this too much speed. Kadri coming back is obviously, it's very clear that the players there love him, and we're amped up to play for him. Tampa started really well, and I was like, oh geez, here we go. Tampa is back in this. Judging by the first 10 minutes, if I would have watched just the first 10 minutes, I would have said Tampa wins that game, and the series is even. But Colorado winning in overtime, they're going to say it was, too many men on the ice or whatever. That's heartbreaking. You're going to get Tampa's best effort, and it wouldn't surprise me if they win tomorrow. But if I was to bet on it, I would say Colorado ends it tomorrow.
I kind of feel you. Just the speed, the way that they've played on home ice, the way it's just been very lopsided. You're going to have to weather the storm again in the first 10 minutes of the game, and they haven't done that well. I think Game 1 and Game 2, Colorado had 2 goals in the first 10 minutes of those games. So it's tough. If you feel strong about Tampa and you're just looking, pizza money, Cale Makar is favored to win Conn Smythe. He's minus 600. It's not even close. He's going to win it. If they do end up winning this, if you wanted to, 20-1 Makar. Yeah, we talked about Makar off the top. Adam, 16 shot attempts last night for Cale Makar.
He's my favorite player to watch.
Yeah,
it's
he
not
is.
Close. I love McDavid too. I love watching McKinnon, but Makar's doing things that you just don't see. He hasn't even touched
his first part of his prime yet, which is really
a child
to think about.
He's a child.
He is a child. Vasilevsky is 20-1 to win the Vezina. If you want to do like a 0.25 unit on that, if you do believe Tampa could come back and win, because even just to pick them to win the cup, they're 8-1. So if they win the cup, who would get Conn Smythe? Vasilevsky, Kucherov at 30-1. Hedman's at 75-1. He had a pretty good showing. On the way out here, I'm going back to some of the usual suspects for me. I do like Perry at 1.5 shots. He hit for us last night. He's hitting 3 straight games. 2 games ago, he played the most he's played in the playoffs. Of course, he's still getting a lot of ice time with Braden Point not playing. Maybe Point could play. Cooper didn't rule him out for the rest of the playoffs, but I just seems like a long shot at this point. So if he doesn't play, Corey Perry 1.5 shots. Cirelli's been hitting consistently at 1.5. Hedman has been hitting consistently as well. He leads the Lightning in shot attempts and shots in this series and ice time. So books are going to hang 2.5 again, even if you get 3. If you want, you can do like a parlay of 3+ shots with McKinnon, Makar, Hedman. Those are my favorite. And then Perry and Cirelli at 1.5. Lehkonen at 1.5. You probably see him at 2.5 plus money, but I think those block shots are still in play because the shot attempts are 233 to 160 at all strengths, and 5-on-5 the shots. I mean, it's like 30 plus more here for Colorado. So I just think that continues, especially with the series going back to Colorado. I have no problem going back to Nichushkin, but McKinnon, Makar, Hedman, those are your guys that are consistently getting shot attempts and shot props. Of course, we'll have some more NHL picks and things like that. I think Colorado does wrap it up tomorrow night, and I will lean with the over. Any other final words for you here on the way out?
No, man, I'm kind of hoping for Tampa to win because it gives us more hockey. But I mean, the playoffs have been unbelievable. I like the things you're saying. I think Nichushkin is an interesting reach for a goal scorer. He's been an animal. He's been all around it.
Really good.
Like you said, Kaloran hasn't done much, but the fact that he's playing that much ice time, that could be a really cool reach as well for a goal scorer. And then, I mean, the usual suspects. You got McKinnon. Rantanen for assists seems almost automatic at this point.
Keep doing that one. Yeah, keep doing. He's got like 20 assists in the playoffs. Yeah.
Yep. And that's the thing is like goal scoring is what we talk about, and goal scoring is what's awarded in the NHL and what people pay for. But Rantanen he's a top 10 player in the NHL. He's such a good player, such a big body, so slick with the puck, crazy vision. A lot of these goals aren't happening without him setting them up, and his assist total is definitely indicative of that.
We'll be back regardless next week. The show is going to run on Game Plus until the end of the month. So if the series is wrapped up tomorrow, EYN will be with you for 2 more episodes next week, and we'll kind of just recap, maybe just take a way too early look at next year's Stanley Cup odds, and certainly some fantasy hockey stuff in there as well. So a couple more shows. This isn't the last one, but it could be the last game that we do break down. I really hope not, Eric. I hope we see at least a couple more games. From Eric Young, myself, Chris Meaney, George running the show. Have a fantastic rest of the week. Good luck on the ice tomorrow, and we will talk to you on Tuesday. Cheers.